A Monday. Monday. Okay, I think we're live.
Yes, I will watch the chat here.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. For those that are new here, I don't know. My name is PJ. I'm the Assistant Director for Strategic Communications and Recruitment here at the KIC. I work with a lot of our communications and our pre-arrival, and I have my two amazing colleagues here today. I'll have them quickly introduce themselves, and then we'll talk about traveling to Mankato and what you kind of need to know and understand and prep for. JJ, you want to go next?
Yeah, for sure. Welcome everyone. My name is Jared JJ Martina. I go by JJ. Glad to have you guys here today this morning to join us to learn more about every step that you're getting closer to August. To get the very important part is today is traveling to Mankato is important. Now you need to know how to get to the university, right? So like Bridget said, I'm the Assistant Director of International Recruitment and Enrollment. So I mainly focus on all the fairs and virtual fairs and talk about the university and give information and basically recruit. And of course, I talk also with the partners too to recruit students for us. So glad to have you guys here today, this morning, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. So thank you.
And good morning. I am the International Enrollment Coordinator here at Kearney International Center. And my name is Violet. I know I recognize some of your names from interacting with you, but I primarily do prospective student customer service. So if you have any questions as you're getting enrolled or coming over here and you email international@mnsu.edu, then there's a good chance that either me or one of the assistants will be communicating with you. So yeah.
Thank you, Violet and JJ. Today we're going to talk about traveling to Mankato, what you need to know, what that process is most likely going to look like for you. And then JJ and Violet, please chime in whenever you guys have something to add, especially when it comes to the border and like customs patrol, land to air. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. It should be a relatively quick session today, I think. But if you guys want to let us know where you're watching us from, and what time it is for you, I think a few of you guys have actually just joined us. So yeah, I was just telling everybody that we're all very tired because it's Monday, so we're back from our weekend and we're still just kind of waking up and trying to get the day started. So Rana from Pakistan at 7 p.m. Okay, that's a pretty good time, I think. Hello. Okay. Da, 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 da. Can you guys see my screen okay? Her. Okay, cool.
PJ, I don't know if there's a way to make it so it doesn't show like the two sides, like the full monitor and maybe just
Hold
the
on.
one screen.
Why is it doing that today? Mhm. I haven't used my monitor in a while, so I feel kind of rusty.
Yeah, that's relatable.
Where are you? Okay, share. Not the screen. Is that better, Violet? Or is it the same?
I think that's better. Yes.
Hold on, let me do full screen and tell me what you see. Still the same?
It's still showing the wide one.
I don't know why it's doing that. Remember, you're funny. Rana said I was going through the KIC YouTube page and saw a short video with the 2019 version of Peach. Yeah, I've been on the KIC page for a long time. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing that you saw that. Don't tell me that. I'm kind of embarrassed. Why is this not working? Hold on. I don't think it did this before. Do you guys want to like talk about some stuff while I try to figure this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Where's everybody's calling from, basically?
yeah, and if you've already told us where you're from, tell us what you're planning on studying. We'd love to know. Use the Q&A section since our I think our chat is disabled, so do it in the Q&A if you can.
I think this is the best it's gonna be,
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
should be just fine.
that should be good.
unfortunately. Okay, guys, so today we're talking about traveling to Mankato. Um, So just on our agenda today, we're going to talk about the airport. So if you've already gotten your visa, you haven't gotten your flight tickets yet, we're going to talk about the airport situation, where that's located, Customs and Border Patrol. So this is the quote unquote scary part of your traveling to the US is like getting through the CBP immigration line, and then how to get to Mankato. So, traveling to Mankato when it comes to airports, so we only have one international airport in the entire state of Minnesota. So that's going to be at the Minneapolis St. Paul MSP. It's the nearest largest airport. International arrivals are in Terminal 1. So that's just something to note if you're like booking flights and stuff. That's something that you might want to consider and make note of. A few other smaller details to remember is no smoking is allowed at the airport, so please ensure that you're not smoking inside the airport. I know that in some places you can, but here particularly you're not allowed to smoke at the airport, so please be mindful of that. Our smoking age and drinking age in the US is also 21, so also be mindful of that if you're under 20. Smoking is also 21, right, guys?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think
I
if we
think it
They
change
just
that
is.
need
to
to
21,
recently,
yeah, yeah.
that's why we're
So
Yeah,
questioning
just
that.
be mindful of that as well. It's like you do need to be of age to smoke and like drink, but again, especially at the MSP airport, just make sure you're not smoking at the airport. Smoking is only allowed outdoors. The biggest scariest part of it all for most students is the Custom and Border Patrol, also like the passport control, also known as the passport control region. Some reminders to for you to is to pack the following in your carry-on: your passport with your visa, your I-20, your signed I-20 with the DS or like the DS-1 2019, financial affidavit and bank statements, so copies of the bank statements that you submitted when you requested your I-20. Just make sure you have copies of those with you. The admissions letter, please print that off as well. Um, we try to remind students to make sure not to pack these in your suitcases because you will not get your suitcase until you're past Customs and Border Patrol. So it's very, very important that you have those on hand. I always ask students to carry it in like a folder, so have everything in the folder and put it in your backpack. And then once you get to Customs and Border Patrol, you can just get that out and hand over whatever they ask of you. You don't have to give them everything. When you get to them, the first thing they'll ask for is your passport with your visa. They'll just make sure they look at that, and then if they need anything else, they'll ask you for it. But these are some essential things you do need to have with you when you get through Customs and Border Patrol. It hasn't happened to me, but I know that we've had students in the past that had their I-20 in their suitcase and not with them. And so that just causes a lot of issues. So just make sure you have that with you. What to remember when it comes to Customs and Border Patrol. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. You'll kind of go through the customs officer will ask you for your passport. They'll look at it. If you are declaring anything that you're bringing in with you, that's also the time when they'll ask for it most likely. But a few things to remember is you need to remember to explain the purpose of your visit. So just out of curiosity, I am going to open the chat right now. Uh, I'm gonna open the chat right now, actually. And this is a quiz for you guys. When the Customs and Border Patrol asks you what's the purpose of your visit, what are you gonna say? I'll give you guys some time. If the customs and when you get through customs and immigration and the officer says, "What's the purpose of your visit?" What is your answer? Nazifa said studying. Anybody else? Okay, I'm here to for college. Jose also said I'm here to study. Amazing. You guys did wonderfully. You guys have passed. That's exactly what you're supposed to say. The purpose of your visit is education, nothing else. You're not going to say, I'm here to work. They're not going to let you through. The purpose of your visit is education. So be honest, be truthful. You have your I-20. How long do you plan to stay? Now, again, this is for the duration of your study. Most programs are 4 years, sometimes a little bit longer. It really depends on your program. But Hosea, Rana, Nazifa, really good job. The purpose of your visit is studying. And then also, they might also ask you about your sponsor. So, kind of like what you did for your visa interview, they might ask you about, like, tell us more about your sponsor. You have your bank statements with you. So, just answer honestly and truthfully. But just know that they're just there to ensure that your intention of coming into the US is to study exactly like the visa interview. So, don't be nervous, be confident. You got through the visa interview, you had your visa, and you traveled all the way here. This is going to be essentially the same. Be honest, be confident in your answers, and it'll be okay. Contact information at the KIC. So we have the front desk. So if you're at the Customs and Border Patrol and something comes up, or they ask you for clarifying questions, you can always call at the front desk or the international admissions team. The first two numbers are the numbers that I would call if you guys are within the office hour window. So if it's between like 8:30 to 3:30 during the summertime, I would call the first two numbers and they'll be able to redirect us back to either Violet or me or JJ, whoever's here to help out with the customs questions. Some other reminders for the Customs and Border Patrol after you've gone past the Customs and Border Patrol and you go to the baggage claim area, you will see dogs there. Like you see in the picture, dogs are present in most baggage claim areas in Customs. Dogs are searching for food, especially food that you're not supposed to bring, large sums of money, and or drugs. Don't be afraid of them. Sometimes they're really cute and adorable and small, and you might want to pet them, but please don't do that. They're at a job, they're clocked in, and they're working right now. So when they're working, you're not supposed to pet them. You're not supposed to ask to pet them. So if you see them kind of around with the Customs Patrol officers, just let them sniff you. If they come up to you, they'll sniff you, they'll sniff around. Um, but just don't be scared. They don't bite or anything, but they are just searching for any stuff that you might have. If they do approach you, wait for the officer to tell you what to do next. Sometimes, though, at some airports, you are able to like pet some dogs because they're off work, but it'll say in really big signs like pet me or like something like that. I was able to like pet a dog like recently when I was in Chicago and it was really, really adorable because it was a really big dog and she was very cute. I think her name was Bailey, but if it doesn't say you're allowed to pet them, please don't pet them. Sometimes they'll also like make you walk in pairs through the TSA line. And again, that's kind of the same purpose as they're searching for food, large sums of money, and or drugs. So just don't panic. JJ, do you have any advice? Do you remember what your Customs and Border Patrol experience was like?
Yeah, I mean, well, mine is a different experience. I didn't have a webinar and everything at that time for me, so I forgot to sign my I-20. So I had to go. They told me to go in the back, and they had to call the school to make sure that I was a student at the school. um, to get me into the country. So um, there's some stuff that are really useful right now for students to, be aware of these webinars, attend, and make notes. Because, at my time when I was coming in 11 years ago, I didn't have all these instructions. I just came based on the information that I got, and there was something I missed. So yeah, they ask you a couple questions. They ask what school you're going, and then what you're gonna study. And then yeah, that was my only mistake, that I didn't sign my I-20. So make sure you guys are aware of that and pay attention on the details. Very important as you're getting into the country. Pay attention to the details. As you guys know, also with the new roles, there's some additional screening that they will do. They might ask you for other certain information, maybe your social media, but that's just what, new development in the control. So definitely, make sure you have everything on you. And then also that, your social media doesn't have any, you know, thing on it that they can question you about it. So definitely pay attention to details. That's mainly my advice. Pay attention to details, your documents. It's very, very important as you pay attention on the details when going into the country. So yeah.
I think I remember mine being very, very quick as well. My port of entry was Chicago O'Hare Airport. And so for me, it was, I think there is this rumor that the O'Hare Airport is like more strict, but honestly, that was not my experience at all. It was very quick. I think the officer asked me two questions. One of them was, well, what's your major? And I think the other one was, I think the first one was, what's the purpose of your visit? And then once I gave him my I-20 and my passport, he was like, well, what are you studying and where are you studying? So I just told him the name of the university, which is Minnesota State University, Mankato. Again, this was years ago, but yeah, I
Yeah.
remember it being so quick. I was so nervous for it. But then once I got in line, I blinked and I was already through. Sometimes, again, they might ask you some extra questions. Um, so
And then one thing I think, PJ, I don't know if they did it with you, they get your fingerprints, and a thumb. So that's another one I do believe that they could do at the Border Patrol. That's what they did with me at least too.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna scroll through now. Transportation, this is another question that we get a lot from students as well, is like, how do I get to Mankato? If you guys don't know, the Minneapolis St. Paul like area, the airport is about an hour and a half away from Mankato. So Mankato is on the southeast, right? Yes, southeast
Yes.
region of the, I was like, east to west. Yes, it's on the southeast. It's like an hour and a half. And so just because of how it's a pretty long drive, so what we do recommend students to get is Land to Air Express. You'll see the two pictures that I've included. That's kind of, it's going to be either one or the other is what it's going to look like. But as you can see, it says in really big like letters on the bus and the van Land to Air Express. So you'll know exactly which one to get into. But this is the best option that's available for our international students. They pick you up directly from the airport. So whether you're in Terminal 1, which is where you're most likely going to be, or Terminal 2, it's going to pick you up directly from the airport and it's going to drop you directly on campus as well. And so it's an approximately hour and a half trip. Um, the price can range, and um, it's also very cost effective, so it can cost you anywhere from $11 to I think the most expensive I've seen land to Air be is $35 one way. And so um, very affordable. Please do not take a taxi, Uber, Lyft, or any other ride share from the airport to Mankato. And the biggest reasons being, A, it's too expensive. Again, remember it's an hour and a half drive from the airport. And then also it's very like difficult to find because most Uber drivers will not want to drive an hour and a half here and then not have any passengers on the way back. So taxis and Ubers and Lyfts are relatively harder to find. We also do not recommend them because it's going to cost a lot of money. Is that my phone? That is my phone. I've been wondering what that sound is. It's my work phone, I think. Okay. Um, so yes, the Lantier Express website is linked on the right underneath the photo there. When you're booking for it, just book MSB Terminal 1 or 2. It'll give you the choice of picking which terminal you're going to be at, which again, when you're booking your flights, it'll tell you. And then when for the arrival location where you want to drop it off, you'll say MSU campus. There's going to be two options that it shows for MSU. Just select the one that says on campus and not the other one. Some final things again, like always, I'm just going to show you guys this screen. Fall 2025 orientation attendance is mandatory. Orientation dates are August 18th through Friday, August 22nd. The first day to enter the US is July 19th, 2025. And we're very excited to meet you. We have a few more sessions or webinars left, not a lot. So as you can see on the screen, our next one is going to be July 7th, which is going to be a visa prep session. So if you have an upcoming visa appointment, you can join that July 16th. If your visa is denied, what should you do next? July 25th is going to be our last visa prep session. Oh my goodness, I just realized we're almost at orientation. That's crazy. I can't believe it's already July. I think that's what's tripping me out is that it's already July. And then August 7th is going to be our last webinar for fall 2025, which is going to be an orientation overview. So during this time, you'll actually be able to meet one of our retention team members that'll tell you exactly what to expect at orientation. More information is also on your KIC portal, including orientation scheduling. I don't think it's fully updated yet, so once I get more confirmation, I'll be updating the KIC portal often, but as of right now, you will be able to kind of see a layout of what each date looks like. Upcoming Instagram live sessions, July 2nd, so that is Wednesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. It will be me, JJ, and Violet. As always, the three of us will be there and we can kind of hang out. You guys can bring your questions. July 3rd, which is the Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, I will be going live with a previous MSU student. Um, and he is going to be joining us. He's from Ivory Coast. He's joining us for about like an hour, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. So please join us if you have questions about student life, his past experience as an MSU student, what advice he has. This is going to be a very good session. So I highly encourage you to join us on our Instagram. Uh, and then we have two Instagram lives following that, and that's kind of going to be all, I believe, until orientation. Yep, so this is what the calendar looks like if you haven't already received it. Um, if you did, you should have received it. If you're an accepted student at MSU, this was sent out to your email, I think twice. So if you don't see it, please email us and we'll kind of send that out to you. But these are the dates to remember. And I'm gonna stop sharing, see what questions people have. All right, okay, you guys do have a lot of questions. So my flight arrives at 12 p.m. at night, so 12 a.m., so midnight. Gaurav, if you're coming in that late, you might likely need to get a motel close by. The earliest land to air that I usually see is 5 a.m., but we can actually look at it together. Give me a second here. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. It is doing that thing again, isn't it? What's going on? Anyway, so this is what the Land to Air Express looks like. We're actually going to, so when you get here, we're going to be doing around one way, obviously, because you're coming here from the airport. So I would do MSP. Here it gives you an option to either pick Terminal 1 or Terminal 2. Most likely than not, you're going to be at Terminal 1, but again, always confirm with your flight tickets. Don't just go off of what I'm saying right now. And then you're gonna do MNSU right here. So that's what you're gonna pick. If you just do Mankato, you get two options. So you get the depot or MSU, but you're gonna do MSU. Let's look at a flight for blah, 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 July 24th. So yes, usually there are a lot of options, as you can see. Just on the 24th, there's 7 shuttles. The earliest is usually 5 a.m. So Gaurav, if you're going to be coming in at 12, I would recommend maybe getting a motel close by, or if you want to wait, you can wait at the airport for a little bit. I know you're getting here at midnight, so you're probably going to be really tired. But if you don't want to get a place at the air, like close by and pay for that, since you're coming here at midnight, book for the 5 a.m. land to air, rest at the airport for a bit. There are some spots around the airport where you can just kind of rest. There's some quiet zones in Terminal 1 that you can look for, and then you can book it. Do we need to book them in advance? And what are the timings? I would encourage you to book them in advance because fall is a very busy time for us, which also means a lot of international students are coming in, not just new international students, but also international students that are away on vacation or summer break. So they're all coming back. So which means you might most likely will need to book it in advance so you have a spot because they also, just an FYI, they do go out really quickly, especially in the fall, like summertime, right before fall. Valentine asked, doesn't the school send us the bus for us? No, we do not send any shuttles for pickup. We do not come to the airport at all for pickups in general. So Valentine, I encourage you to book it separately by yourself. Rana asked if anybody wants to take it, Violet or JJ. I'm traveling August 11th. What's the situation regarding arriving early? Is there any Pakistani union or group that I can connect to?
About you want to take that, or I can say something.
Okay, so if you do arrive early, let's see, you will be billed $29 per day if you're living on campus to arrive early. So you will need to reach out to is it the ResLife
Yep.
office in order to arrange that. So just make sure that you've contacted them to make sure that you are set for early arrival. JJ, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah,
You
for sure.
do,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Or I was
PJ.
gonna say you do have to submit a request for pre-arrival if you're coming in between August 9th to August 17th. You have to submit an early arrival request form, which is in the housing and dining portal, which doesn't open until July 28th. So you have about a month to submit that request. Rana, who was it? It was Rana, yes. Rana Ali, you have to submit that request beginning July 28th. So set a reminder on your phone, and as soon as you hit that date, go onto your housing and dining portal and submit a request. Even if you submit a request, it doesn't mean or guarantee that you'll have a room. It just means that you submitted a request, they'll go through it, and if you're approved, you can come in early. And like Violet said, you're billed $29 per day for arrival prior to August 18th. Um, JJ, what were you saying?
Yes, I think the student asks if there's any Pakistani union or group that I can connect to.
There
I
is.
believe on there is like a math central. I think PG is gonna put one of the, I would say, the leader of the Pakistani email. They're perfect. And you can connect with them. If you plan to live off campus, basically you can connect with them and then they can help you with if you are looking for a place to stay, and go from there and connect with the Pakistani community in general. So obviously that's the advice I will give. You can put in chat, get in touch with the Pakistani group, and then they will help you, if you're looking for a place to stay like off campus. But just like PJ and Violet said, that's the protocol and process if you're planning to live on campus. So yeah.
And then I just added the Facebook group link in the chat. I think they've had a few Facebook pages, and I see that like one of them's inactive and another one isn't working. So it looks like this one might be.
Yeah.
And then PJ also added the Instagram there. So there's a couple of ways to contact them through social media. And
Do
then
you think it's better to live on campus or off campus? that really depends on you, what your budget is and what you've decided on. It looks like you've already been allocated a room at the uni, so if you've already signed a contract there, you can't really just cancel it. So just keep that in
And
mind as well.
honestly, starting with living on campus is a great idea too, just because you're going to be new to the area. It'll have you really close to everything and really, everything will be accessible. You'll get to meet a lot of people, and I think it's a really good starting place for your journey at MSU.
Yeah.
Gaurav asked, can we book on-campus housing for a few days? No, you cannot do that unless you're already
Mhm.
living on campus. We do have a few hotels really close to campus, like very, very close to campus, that we encourage students to book at, which is called American. Um, you could book there for a few days and then get to your off-campus housing. It's not convenient, however, again, we always encourage students to do that because A, it's close to campus, B, it's safe. Um, so is there any Bangla club that I can join so I can speak Bangla sometimes? Nazifa, we actually do have a Bangladesh Student Association as well. Uh, Let me look up their Instagram. Most of them are more active on Instagram, so I know the Bangladeshi Student Association is fairly active, so Nazifa, I am posting that in the chat for you, and I think Mobin is also looking for Bangladeshi students, so I am going to post their Instagram right here. Go and follow them, and also follow us at KICM and SU. Okay, really good questions, guys. But again, I kind of did anticipate this session to not be that long. If you guys don't have any further questions, okay, so Talha, Mobin, Nazifa, you guys can all connect. Um, but if you guys don't have any further questions, like let us know, and we might actually end this session a little early today. Are there any questions on YouTube, Violet? Probably not.
Nothing. Oh,
Okay. Okay. All right, guys, we really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for all of the amazing questions, as always. We will see you in our next session, which is just going to be a visa prep session next week. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Or I'm gonna go back to chugging my coffee so I can wake up because I'm still half asleep in here.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, JJ, Violet, any last words before I end the session?
um, thanks for joining us, everyone. We're really excited to meet you soon. Almost next month. Almost next month. Tomorrow it'll be July, and then you can say, I'm going to MSU next month. Yay!
You're so right.
Yeah, the same as Violet. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the great questions. It's been a pleasure having you guys. If you have further questions, we have put the email that you can reach out to us with more detailed questions. Thank you. We're looking forward to see you in about a month and then welcome you all to this beautiful and welcoming campus.